some of the Act-Man stuff is kind of like a real bummer for content creators in a way. But this is the title. The Act-Man vs. Quantum TV Saga. A full timeline of events on how YouTube is failing its content creators. Now, of course, that's supposed to get your attention, right? So, basically, what it comes down to is the Act-Man pointed out another creator for being a not good person, pretty much. Like racist, homophobic, that kind of thing. And did like a full iDub-style content cop on this guy. That's the kind of... He makes like video essays and that kind of thing, I believe. And YouTube struck down that video. They didn't demonetize it. They didn't tell him, hey, there's a part in here that that's not cool. They just took it down without warning, which YouTube is known to do sometimes. And that could have been seen as just an example of the algorithm on YouTube just doing its funky thing again. But it was taken down for nudity and explicit sexual content. And the Act-Man figured out it was for a part in the video where there was like a joke in bad taste, I guess, where there was a cucumber photoshopped really close to this person's mouth that could have been implied as a sexual act, correct? So instead of YouTube being like, hey, there's this like 5-second clip in this, 45+ minute video, can you take this out with our built-in editor? By the way, they have a built-in editor to trim stuff that is copyrighted. They just said, no, it's down. Nope, sorry. Video's taken down. So, thankfully, YouTube has an appeal system to where you can say, hey, I know this part, I can take this part out, and therefore the strike or the reason that you took the video down for will no longer exist. The Act-Man made the appeal, and within 30 minutes, the appeal is a manual review process, by the way. Within 30 minutes, YouTube came back and said, nope, staying down. Nope. So an actual human looked at this, knew the content of it, and knew that, in essence, this man is trying to keep YouTube a safe space for all types of people, by ousting this guy, this other creator, as a not so good person. But YouTube was like, nah. In 30 minutes, a manual review person said, nope, we're good. It's staying down. So, and this is the point where Charlie points out in his video, it's unfortunate that at this point, a creator, a grown human in most cases, has to take to the most degenerate of all websites, Twitter.com, to basically cause a fuss so YouTube will see it, because there's no good communication system on YouTube. Of course, I don't know any of this. This is all hearsay to me, because I've never experienced this. But if the issue is arising over and over again, then I would say that it is probably a legit concern. But anyway, appeal got struck down. He takes to Twitter and he's like, hey, this is wrong. I think this is not okay. And YouTube fires back, in a sense, by demonetizing 2 of his other videos that are completely unrelated to the topic. Completely unrelated. So he appeals those, and again, within 30 minutes, YouTube says, nah. So, of course, as a creator at this point, you'd probably be a little upset. Just a little bit. especially if you're a full-time creator like this person was. So you go back to Twitter because there's no good communication system. Nobody wants to go to Twitter and make a fuss about stuff. I believe that. I believe that there are some people that probably do, and those are the people that just doom scroll Twitter for like 2 hours a day, 2 hours at a time. Sorry. But he goes back to Twitter, complains some more, and YouTube demonetizes his entire channel. They said, hey, you can continue to make videos, but you ain't gonna make shit off of them. And keep in mind, this guy's a full-time creator. This can be likened to YouTube goated. No, this is akin to so generous, right? Hey, you can still make videos on our platform, even though this is your sole source of income or your primary source of income. We're taking that away, though. That's akin to you know, if I go into work one day and they're just like, get out of here. You're out. Bye. And they don't give a reason or anything. Now, with actual places of business, that's a little different. I live in what's called a right-to-work state, which is where they can do that. And that's just a thing they can do. They can, without reason, just say, hey, you're out. But most places don't do that. But that's kind of what I liken it to, because a lot of people who aren't necessarily in the content creation space, and I'm hardly in it, you know what I mean? I don't make money off of this. I just play video games and talk to you guys. But I can sort of, in a roundabout way, I guess, sympathize with what that must be like when it was likened to, in Moist Critical's video. You just going into work and your workplace saying, you're fired. Right? No warning, nothing. So I think what this really sheds light on is, once again, and I know the CEO of YouTube is aware of this because several creator interviews that she has done with they've all brought that up, like, hey, the communication system is really bad. Why not let us use, like a built-in editor? And they implemented the built-in editor. Why not let us use that on struck down video so we can just cut that copyrighted material completely out, or that problem material completely out? So it's no longer a problem. So she knows, but as a CEO, that's kind of, I don't know how it is with YouTube, but I feel like CEOs just sit and chill and they make like very, very top level decisions, right? Well, the dream is to just play games and stuff as a job, isn't it? So of course it's sad that someone could have that dream stripped away from them after they achieved it. Yeah, and after they're just so long into it, I think the Act Man, let me do a little bit more research. The Act Man YouTube start date. Wikitubia. It's a fandom site, so maybe. So he has been doing it for a while. I can't see a start date like right here, but his first video that really popped off was uploaded on December 7th, 2017. So he's been doing it for a while. I didn't even read this article, but I know kind of that's it goes through the entire timeline. Yeah, it goes through the entire timeline. Now, I agree with Charlie. At the end of Charlie's video, he says that he has no doubt that this decision will be overturned and the monetization status will be returned to his channel upon further review. Maybe once, there's like a meeting between them. But the point that I think most people are trying to make is that the meeting should happen before the strike is even issued. There should be like on some of my YouTube stuff, I have some copyrighted audio that makes some of the videos ineligible for demonetization should I reach monetization status. And I can just click in there. I'm not gonna do it. I could just click in there. It'll tell me the exact timestamps between which the copyrighted audio is found, and I can just click one button and say trim out copyrighted material, and then hit OK, and then it just does it automatically. So I really think that should be implemented to videos that are taken down by YouTube, taken completely down. They should just at least be like, if they take them down, they should be like, hey, this is why we took it down, this is the timestamp, trim it out, re-upload, and we'll leave it. Or just do the exact same stuff as when a demonetization button hits one of the videos, and just say, hey, here's the timestamp. You can either trim that out, mute it, or whatever. If it's audio, you can mute it. If it's an image, you can trim it out. Do that, and we're good. Because that video was taken down for that 45+ minute video was taken down for a 5-second clip that YouTube's bots deemed sexually explicit. Which, you know, probably no problem. It probably wasn't integral to the point that Ackman was trying to make. You know what I mean? But anyway, I guess the moral of the story is sometimes shit happens and you don't really know how to fix a problem until the problem presents itself, right? But even in this case, the problem has presented itself multiple times, and I'm sure they have something in the works, right? They have to. They have to know. I truly believe that YouTube is on the side of creators. Oh, this audio gets copyrighted. So does that one. I don't think this one does. But I think YouTube truly is on the side of the creator. They just... The space is just ever evolving, and copyright is so sticky. And what could be considered, you know, in this case, sexually explicit material could vary literally from me to, like, you in the chat, right? There could be just a small minutia of difference in what we consider sexually explicit material. And the same thing goes for you know, well, I think hate speech is pretty common. I was trying to think of another example. Violence. Inciting violence. So, on YouTube, if I were to make a joke about you know, an edgy joke about this guy's fucking dumb, like, or if I were to make an edgy joke about, you know, unaliving myself or whatever, I wouldn't do that, first of all. But some people do, so that's some people's sense of humor, and I don't necessarily see that as inciting violence, you know, that, like, context is very important in these situations. Very, very, very important. But anyway, I hope everything works out for the best for the Ackman. I hope he gets monetization back on his channel. That's his sole source of income. So, I mean, what are you gonna do when everything goes in the red for you, right? So I hope it's fixed. I hope it's fixed quickly. That is a wonderful example, Manu. My friend got banned from Twitter for saying they were gonna wedgie another friend as a joke. See? Would you consider that inciting violence truly? Probably not. But somebody else might see that as, oh, bullying, right? And it's the context matters. No, it's just goofy. It is goofy because, you know, we know, well, I could tell just by reading the message, that's a joke, right? The other friend was probably in on it. Like, hey, I'm gonna wedgie the shit out of you, dude. You know what I mean? The other guy was probably in on it. But it's a very sticky situation, and I'm hoping everything works out the best for works out in the best possible way for the Act Man. Maybe this could, I mean, if I'm talking about it, somebody who doesn't really try to put that much effort into things outside of work and stuff. If I'm talking about it, it's obviously sparking a conversation again, and hopefully it ignites some sort of change. Like, even if it's not a full, because the last thing a business wants to do is give in 100% to the consumer, right? Despite what commercials and stuff want you to know, there's still a business aspect to a business. But hopefully, worst case scenario, there's some sort of compromise and he gets monetization restored to his channel. Best case scenario, this sparks an ongoing conversation about, hey, we really need to figure this out. Let's get some focus groups or whatever together to try and find a solution to this problem, rather and so we can be proactive instead of reactive. I think as a business, the best thing you can do is be proactive. And of course, keep in mind, all of this is coming from somebody with zero business, like top level business management experience, zero, almost zero stake in it. Of course, I want to make money in it. It's like Manu said, the dream is to just play games and stuff as a job. But I'm not to that point yet, so I have less of a stake in it than somebody like, Moist Critical or Northern Lion or whomever would have in it. People that do this as their primary source of income. So just keep that in mind. Take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, that was the Act Man story. This is all coming off the top of the dome piece, by the way. So hopefully I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully I'm not boring the shit out of you guys. The other friend even appealed it, saying it was a joke. And did they restore the gentleman's account? Probably not. Most likely not. Oh, that was a heavier story. Nope. Damn. That was a heavier story. This upcoming story, it's mostly just a cautionary tale. This one, nothing like super bad happened. So, the title of the article is MatPat's new Five Nights at Freddy's theory leads to doxing concerns. Let's get some chill music going. Is this chill music? I don't know, probably. But MatPat's new FNAF theory leads to doxing concerns. So, let me go to YouTube. I'm actually subscribed to the Game Theorist. I respect the shit out of the man. Literally built multiple businesses from the ground up. Where is it? The Game Theorists. Didn't take down the video. What a Giga Chad. So, this is the video in question. FNAF stumped me again. Uploaded 4 days ago. Last night, a video was uploaded called Stop the FNAF ARG Hunt. So, I don't think MatPat did anything wrong. It's just in the end of this video. Let me see if I can find it real quick, actually. Let me mute this. See if I can find where he's asking basically for help. Ooh, updated the, holy crap. It's not in there. I don't want to...
Store shelved until December of 2019. But Mandy wasn't just playing FNAF 3. It's explicitly mentioned that she's playing the February of 2020. It could have been in existence then, but I'll be honest, I do not have the elite hacker skills to bust open a mobile game to look for the whole thing gave me some big looking through these books trying to find something that just this one. Weeks of looking through these lot of ideas. Open a mobile game to look for the files. It could have been in existence.
I think it
then,
starts
but
here.
I'll be honest, I do not have the elite hacker skills to bust open a mobile game to look for the files.
Do not have the elite hacker skills to bust open a mobile game to look in the files. So he mentions in one of the books, it specifically mentioned that they're playing the mobile port of Five Nights at Freddy's 3. He just has this idea that a big clue to the lore is hidden in some sort of ARG, right? And
Looking through these books trying to find something
asks for help.
Wasn't clicking, and yet
Ultimately.
I couldn't shake it. The whole thing gave me some big Gravity Falls ARG vibes. For those of you who don't know, one of my favorite TV shows of all time, Gravity Falls, did this massive
Here is yeah. They did a
ARG back in 2016.
hell
It
yeah.
was a
Show the
series that
picture
was
so
all
I can
about
pause it.
mysteries, ciphers, secret codes, complete with a book, much like the survival logbook. Fans of the series from out in the middle of the woods. Maybe
Yeah. Hang on.
all
There it
corners of
is.
the map to work
There was a
together would
cipher,
eventually lead 'em to a statue of the show.
and you find this, right? This is basically what an ARG is. There are clues in either books, the TV show, whatever, that that you gotta piece together through all these different kinds of mediums, and sometimes it leads to actual in real life rewards, right? So it's very exciting for people who like doing puzzles.
Villain Bill Cipher, hidden out in the middle of the woods. Maybe FNAF was seeding out clues for something similar, or maybe
Yeah. So maybe FNAF was doing something similar. Because in the most recent Fazbear Frights book, Frights book, it's kind of insinuated that, hey, go back to this book and maybe you interpreted something wrong, and then go here and do this, and it was ringing bells in his head that hey, this thing might be an ARG. And ARGs are super fun. They're super exciting. I've never participated in one, but I've watched specifically MatPat videos on how they're solved and everything, and I think it's so cool. So basically at the end of the video, there's a call to action specifically to dig into the files of a mobile game, and he shouts out a couple cities, no addresses, no phone numbers, just a couple cities, and says, hey, if any of you guys live here, if you notice anything while you're walking around town or anything like that, just let us know. Maybe we can solve this thing together. Very, very harmless comment. What this led to was people digging into the books, finding the names of businesses that are in those books, and then calling those businesses non-stop to ask about video game lore. And I'm guessing it's insinuated that the information was published online, which is a no-no. That's doxing. So he hopped on it super quick, actually. Super quick turnaround, super great response by MatPat. Why did I not go back there? There it is. Uploaded just a 10-minute video, just in response saying, hey, stop this. It's number 3 on trending right now, by the way. Just saying, hey, stop. This is not what I intended at all. This is not anywhere close to what I said to do. I wanted you to dig into the mobile game file, or the files of this mobile game, and look around, right? And in the video, he brings up that nobody's ever really laid out the rules for an ARG, right? Nobody's really laid out, hey, here are your rules. This is what you do. This is what you don't do. Stuff like that. Excuse me. Let me get a drink of water, and I'll try and scrub through this video to find the rules. I think I found it. We will not show any of the video on screen. If you want to watch the full 10-minute video, go to the Game Theorist channel and look up, or it's their most recent video. It's Stop the FNAF ARG Hunt.
Say the same thing. The clues are going to be obvious.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
For you to go there. Or, you know, another is private property and feel comfortable going to an
There's number 3. Hang on.
played with the public information about a person. Probably the big
2.
information online.
So the first rule he comes up with, which should be common sense, but apparently it was not, is
first and absolutely most importantly, never, ever, ever publish someone's private information online.
Never publish anybody's private information online. Good starting point. Good starting point. Don't do that. When making a set of rules, you have to assume that the people reading the rules are very new to the whole situation, right? Number 2, stick to publicly available info. Kind of ties in the number 1 with not doxing anybody. So yes, he makes the point that that businesses have publicly available info, but refer to rule number 1: do not post that, do not share it. And don't call them. You know, what the hell would a Walmart know about Five Nights at Freddy's lore? Essentially, you know, stop doing that. That's dumb. Number 3. Where's number 3? Be safe in public and do not trespass. So, you would think it's pretty commonplace to think that, you know, if somebody is going to do an ARG, they're not going to hide it in the middle of a business. They're not going to hide it on private property. But do not trespass. Super solid rule. You would think it'd be commonplace, but he makes the point that it's easy to get wrapped up. It's so easy to get wrapped up in the exciting nature of doing an ARG, solving a puzzle, that you're just following any lead possible, right? You're like, I'm so close. I gotta follow this thing. I gotta run this thread out until there's the end, or it connects to another thread. And while that may be the case, doxing, trespassing, basically harassing businesses, not a cool thing. It's something I never really thought about until it was brought up in the video. But the Game Theory channel, they reach so many people. So many people. This video alone has almost 2 million views. I think the original video at the time that he made this response video, the follow-up saying, hey, stop it. Classic Gamers, yeah, for sure. Had over 3 million views. So he makes the point that even if, you know, a couple hundred people are participating in you know, trying to follow this through and calling these businesses, that constitutes harassment at that point, right? So if just me were to call and call this, you know, Walmart in the middle of Portland, Oregon, whatever, and say, hey, I read in this Five Nights at Freddy's book that they mentioned, you know, your business. Do you know anything about this? And they're just like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? And they hang up the phone. And I'm like, okay, on to the next one. That's not really an issue. But when you have 100, 200, 300 people calling, that constitutes harassment. And that is not okay. Not okay.
Safe in these situations, regardless of any evidence that you might see. Never go to a place that you wouldn't feel comfortable going to in everyday life. Never enter private property. And yes, that abandoned warehouse or old pizzeria or whatever is private property. It is not acceptable for you to go there. Or
he's in full dad mode, dude. He's doing the point everything. He is in dad mode. You can tell that he is like, you fucking kidding me? Like, I can tell in his head, he's like, why do I even have to make this, right?
You know, another shorthand for this is if you've ever been to an escape room, they say the same thing. The clues are going to be obvious. They're going to be in front of you. Do not break stuff to try and find a hidden clue.
Don't break stuff. That's not one of the rules, but
is broken stuff. Rule number 4, things like business addresses and phone numbers are indeed listed online publicly, and so talking about them is technically not doxing, important distinction to make, but it's not okay to call those private businesses about anything other than doing business with them.
Look at that. Rule number 4, don't fucking call them. Just don't call them. As he points out, the clues in these puzzles will be obvious. They're going to be in front of you. You're going to be able to find them on your own, right? And I think that was a very important distinction to make, that even though, this Walmart in the middle of Portland, Oregon might be mentioned in this book, that could just mean, by extension, that, hey, maybe it's behind the Walmart or something, like in the woods behind the Walmart. Whatever. It doesn't have to be in the middle of the fucking Walmart sitting in one of the baby strollers,
Calling Domino's, make sure you're calling Domino's for some delicious pizza and not asking them whether they belong to the Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria universe. If you're
Yeah, call Domino's and order pizza. Don't ask them about Five Nights at Freddy's.
doing it, assume that a
Where's rule number 5? Rule number 5, find one central place online for ARG discussion. This is just classic internet etiquette. Manu, am I going to go into your Discord in the general section and start spamming shit about music? No, you have a channel for that. You literally have you got a few channels for it, actually. So basically the point he's making there is don't take over a website or a Reddit thread that has nothing to do with the shit you're talking about.
ARGs, so people aren't trying to repeatedly do the same stuff.
Very kind of you.
Like-minded group of puzzle solvers and theorists. Therefore,
I like the beginning of this.
One central place to solve ARGs, so people aren't trying to repeatedly do the same stuff. Find your like-minded group of puzzle solvers and theorists. Unite together. Reddit, Discord, great places to do this sort of thing, but taking over unrelated boards or spaces to dig into an ARG, not okay. It should
not okay. So that's the rules.
go without saying, but we would never.
I want to get on a good frame, just in case, just in case, Mr. Matthew is tuning in. He's not, or if he sees this, but this is essentially what he comes up with right now. Never publish private info. Never publish private info. Stick to publicly available info. Be safe in public and do not trespass, and he includes abandoned warehouses, abandoned buildings in trespassing because that is still private property. It is owned by somebody. Don't call the private businesses or individuals, and find one central place online for an ARG discussion. Basically, make a Discord server or a Reddit, or find a thread in like the official Reddit of the Five Nights at Freddy's community in this case. So, yeah, just a couple things I wanted to talk about. Again, if you want to watch the full video, he makes some other amazing points and ties like all of these points together. You can go to the Game Theorist channel on YouTube, or you can just look on the trending tab because it'll be the third video on there right now, baby. What's the first video on trending? Of course it's fucking Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Oh, second is Johnny Depp's legal team discusses victory in defamation case on Good Morning America, of course. But yeah, I think I just kind of wanted to do my part and be like, hey, don't trespass, spread the message that he lined out in his video, give you the bare bones, and if you decide to follow up on it, you can go to his channel, or their channel. It's a business. You can go to the Game Theorist channel and watch that full video. I'm reading some of the tweets made about it. There's a fine line between crafting an in-game story and just outwardly lying about something. I didn't want to cross that line. Apparently, at one point, Scott Cawthon, the original creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, was considering making, an ARG type of thing that you would go through the internet to find. But he scrapped it. But anyway, just a couple things I wanted to talk about before we play Uncharted 4. Just some cool stuff to bring up. I found it very interesting, right? that even though, you know, just to put a pin on this whole FNAF theory leading to doxing concerns and maybe potentially finding an ARG within these books, just to kind of put a pin in it. Even though something can be very exciting, it's always, always, always important to think before you act on something or think before you speak on something, even though that is not at all what I did here. Flying off the top of the dome piece. This has been your Twitch news reporter signing off. Don't call Walmart asking about Five Nights at Freddy's lore. And YouTube, get your shit together.